people.
Welcome back, you guys.
Long time no see.
Do you know how long it took us to not say welcome back to KICKIN Sunday? And then we can say it again. Like, we're back. Like, we're back. You guys left us some fabulous questions when we announced that we were bringing back KICKIN Mondays. So these will be posted every single Monday, and it's just us really having fun with you guys and trying to help you out. We found through this whole YouTube journey that we have a passion for helping people, and there's millions of people out there that need encouragement and love, and so this is our outlet.
Need tough love.
Tough love.
Yeah, baby.
Those of you
That's
who got
us.
our shirt. We'll have to release another version of Tough Love eventually. I don't know. Bring back the shirt, but anyway,
Let's get to it.
That's how we got here. So anyway, please subscribe for those of you who are new, and leave your questions down below for us to. We can't get to them all, but we try to do our best. So let's get started. Ooh, are you even excited to be here?
Of course.
You look thrilled.
I'm thrilled.
Like you're
to be
going
here.
down Splash Mountain at Disneyland again.
Or more, it's like
Splash Mountain. I'm gonna throw up. He doesn't do roller coasters.
that was PK before kids.
That was 16
Before
years ago.
PK, before kids, whatever. All right,
Okay.
focus.
Why do you have to be so like? We could take our time. They haven't seen us for a while.
Well, I didn't want to have a 14
You're
minute.
just.
I didn't want to have a 14-minute, intro. I wanted to, get some questions.
It's just nice to see them again.
Hi.
Hi. It's awkward. Okay, first question. I would like to know how you figure out how much of your income goes into groceries. I know you've talked about it in the past, but now you have 3 children. Yes, we do. Do you go by a percentage of your income, or just set an amount? And also, does going out to eat come out of the grocery budget or a different envelope?
Good questions.
Especially because it's been a rough week on our grocery budget.
Yes, it has.
We're making changes.
Lots of changes.
So we are switching to the whole eating. I don't know if you've been following us on Instagram or Twitter, but the whole eating program, the whole 30 program, and then the Fine Gold program for the kids. So it's been an adjustment. Both of those programs have so much in common. The kids basically get, the Fine Gold is gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free.
Dye-free.
And then, all natural, no processed foods whatsoever, organic when possible. And then the kids get full fats like milk and yogurts and a little bit of bread, spelt bread we give them, and butter, things like that. So
Translation, double food budget.
So it's funny you asked this question because
Okay, let's back up. So before we did this transformation that we're going through with the food, we did not have, it wasn't like a secret, 10% of your budget goes to your food or whatever. It was just something that we tried after years and years and years and years.
Amount.
We just finally got to the point where, we started really low. We're like, we can't live on this amount of food. Then we went really high, and then we're like, wow, we're wasting a lot of food. So it just takes this trial and error before you really kind of lock in where you're at. And I guess it all depends on season too. Like here in the summertime, we got all the fresh fruits and veggies and stuff, so the cost is a little bit lower as opposed to wintertime when you're paying more for all that stuff. So It's just kind of you're gonna have to work it out on what works for your family.
Yeah, and I think too, it depends where you're at in your journey. And when we were starting out, we were like rice and beans.
Yeah.
Kids complained, and we were like, "This is it."
We're
We
PBJ.
want to get out of debt more than anything. So it depends. As we become further along in this financial journey of ours, when we have extra money, we tend to invest in more quality groceries than going away for the weekend or something like that. So it depends what your priorities are for your family too. But we don't even eat out because now it's too complicated to eat out and make sure everybody's okay. So Chipotle on a date night for he and I, and that's about it.
So the other part was the going out. Was that part of your grocery budget? No, we had that as a separate line item under date night for her and I.
Because then you could go out and then you wouldn't have anything to eat for the rest of the
Yeah.
month, which would not be good. That's something I would totally do. So yes, next question. Thank you.
Are you guys done with baby step 3 yet? I have noticed that people are intense about getting out of debt on baby step 2, then they hit baby step 3 and they get laxed and lose the intensity. What do you think? I'd agree to that. We've kind of had our ups and downs of the intensity, that's for sure.
We were supposed to go every other question and you just picked what question you wanted.
Well, every other would be this one. Oh, I see. Okay.
You go ahead. We'll go back to y'all.
So yeah, we're on baby step 3.
We're still on baby step 3.
But I would say that once you get out of debt, you kind of do lose that because you have all this extra money coming in. It's not going towards your debt, and you're just like, hey. I want a new weed eater, so you go buy a new weed eater, or whatever. I mean, it's hard to keep the intensity that when you're on the baby step 2, it's hard to keep that through 3. I will admit to that.
Absolutely. And we're in a place where we looked at each other, regardless of what the baby steps are. Like what worked for Dave Ramsey might not work for everybody. And we looked at each other one day and we're like, you know what? It's been 6 years of not making memories as a family. And so we decided to invest in a truck and a travel trailer and make that as part of our baby step 3. So because Zoe's getting older faster and we realize how little time we have with her, and that what we have in the end, the dollar amount, isn't so important as compared to the memories that we're making, that we have the opportunity to make with the kids now. And we love to go camping. That is something we've missed so much. And so it depends.
So instead of being on baby step 3 for 6 months, we might be there for a while. It might just be a parking spot for a while.
We have been here for a while. But you know what? We have our emergency fund and we're just working. I'm not stressed over we have to do it by this time. I am more worried about having a well-rounded quality life. We have changed our perception has really changed on this journey. And when something comes up, we can choose to stress out, like the van needed brakes and the check engine light went on in the truck in the same day. You can stress, or you could just take it out of your emergency fund and keep plugging along, and that's what we choose to do. Okay, so I just wanted to share with you that my husband has finally got mad. We have started to do a budget together for the first time. I have a question. I think it's a question. So here goes. The last 6 months we get our $1,000 emergency fund set up, and then one of our car or vans have had to go in for work done on them, and we have to use the $1,000 to get one of them fixed, and then we get it built up again. And again, the car or van needs to be fixed. We lost hope. What can we do? Should we try to do different emergency funds?
Well, if they're not like huge repairs, maybe you just throw a little sink fund on the side for the cars. That way when these come up, maybe you have a little bit of cash that's, you've set aside for the repair, so you're not constantly dipping in the emergency fund.
Right.
But if they're like $1,000 repairs every month, either you're gonna have a really nice car here pretty quick because you've done so many repairs on it, or maybe it's time to let that car go and then you go get another $500 car or whatever that you guys can afford, whatever you can sell the first one for, and try to just swap places and get a little bit better of a car.
Yeah, but we have a car emergency. We have what you would call as an emergency fund. We call as a sinking fund, where we set aside a little bit of money every month for car maintenance.
Right now it's $50 a month. That covers oil changes and
foreseen things.
Yeah, brake jobs or check
Rare
engine
parts.
lights or whatever.
Rare parts. So, yeah, I would suggest doing that. Okay, why don't you go ahead and
I'll read that one.
You keep looking that way. Do you need a phone?
No, I'm good.
You keep the time on the phone. Squirrel. The timer is that way.
Okay,
the kids are that way.
We're just gonna go ahead and call it right now. It's fine.
Why don't you put it in front of you while you're not looking? Squirrely. You ready? Okay.
We're rolling!
He's got the timer right in front of him.
Would you consider using FaceTime or Skype to give one-on-one financial advice to people that request your help? If so, what do you think your hourly rate would be?
I know you guys should ask that. That's our dream. Yeah, I hope it comes true. We get asked this question so much. You guys send us messages and you're like, when? But
we're working on it.
We're working on it. We have a family with 3 little girls that I'm only one person. So, and he tries to help. He's got a full-time job. So yes, that's our goal.
Stay tuned. It's gonna happen sooner or later. We don't know when, just because there's a lot of work involved for us to get there, and we're working on it behind the scenes as much as we can, as fast as we can. So as soon as that is available, we'll let you know. Hourly rate is $399 an hour.
We could not charge a ton of money. We just couldn't. Like it's a very affordable rate. We're thinking.
That's still under negotiations. We're arm wrestling on that one.
No, we're not. But details on our coaching sessions will be up on our new website. There's going to be a coaching tab I'm building, and it will outline all of our services and what you can expect, and also our fees that we'll charge. Hi, since moving inland 3 hours from the major town, we are broke all the time, and I have to get small loans and rent a fridge. Between us, we get in our hand $196 per F&I.
I don't know what F&I is.
I'm not sure what that is. Fortnightly, maybe? Have had a knee and hand operation, and that costs $150 each time we go. Our government gives us some money back for gas, for petrol, but it takes 6 weeks until we get our money back. I'm sick of having no money. I have a medication bill of about $650, and I'm trying to get it paid, but even if I pay $20, I think it's fortnight, I will never get it paid off as more meds are added. Please help me.
Wow,
That's
a toughie.
Medications are...
Medical, if you have medical, maybe see if you can settle. I don't know. This sounds like it's across the pond. It sounds like it's over in...
Like you might have different rules than we
different
have.
Rules. Like over
we
here,
don't
you
get
can...
reimbursed for gas.
No.
How nice would
That'd be
that
cool if you did, but maybe try to settle. Maybe contact your healthcare provider or whoever and see if you can't settle your bills for less.
Definitely get on a budget. Do a budget. Do your income and outgo, that way your expenses, and you know what you're spending every single month, and see where there's areas that you can cut. And obviously medications are a big one for you. Our big one is food and groceries in our house. So, that's the one that we're not willing to cut. So everything else around it needs to be cut. So take a good look at your budget.
So yay, the last Debt Kickin' Sunday you guys did, you told me not to stress out about getting the money to pay for the fourth baby.
I love these updates.
That we are finding, fourth baby we found out we were expecting, a wee surprise, without adding to our debt. And you will be happy, super happy to know we are 2 weeks out from delivery date. How fast did that time go, right? But everything is paid for, and we haven't had to add any to our debt at all. It wasn't easy, and there were a couple of low points where we sold stuff naturally. Now I can't wait to meet our new little boy and get the ball rolling on our snowball again, rather than putting all our money, extra money, towards preparing for our new addition. I'm so glad you guys are back, and just in time for a sweet email pic of our newest family member. Did we get an email pic of the...
I don't know. I have to check our email. How exciting!
I sent you the picture anyway. So glad to see Debt Kickin' Q&As. Woohoo!
Oh, that's so exciting.
Thanks, guys.
Congratulations, you made me
See,
cry.
it can be done.
I'm so happy for you guys.
That's the
You
tough
made
love right
it.
there. See, it can be done.
You
It was hard,
survived.
but you guys did it. And I tell you what, after everything's all done, said and done, you pay all the bills, you're gonna be like, man, that was hard, but it was so worth it.
And it feels so good to get back on your debt kicking. Like your focus. Because babies are expensive and they derail you.
That was, which one was that? Was that their third or the fourth?
Fourth baby.
Oh yeah, they get expensive.
Baby
You know that.
boy. Okay, my question is about retirement. Would you consider purchasing a rental home as an alternative, additional retirement income option? Just thinking about spreading the risk rather than having everything invested in funds. We're from the UK, so we don't have Roth 901, 401,
401k things.
thingies Dave talks about. Glad to see you back. Thank you. Okay, so the only way I would recommend investing in real estate is if you pay cash for it, especially like if you're retired, because your money making years are behind you, and it's harder to absorb the costs of a rental. So I would say yes, go for it if you can pay cash for them and not.
And a
drain your
rental,
nest
if you're gonna
egg.
do that, it needs to be a decent house that isn't gonna be consume you by maintenance needs. Like, a new roof or new siding or new windows. You don't want to buy a house that you have to try and put all this work into it.
Yeah, that's true. Well, let me ask this one too.
Okay.
Unless you can.
I don't
You go
know.
for it. You go for it.
Well, this is a you thing. Go ahead.
I want to see your answer though.
Okay, I'd love to know how you keep your kids entertained on a budget during the summer. We've exhausted the park, nature trails, and crafts. I go to work, I leave that to her.
And then I'm homeschooling in the fall, so this is going to be a great, it's like day one of our summer, you guys, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to survive.
The kids are on board.
The kids are already doing that.
12 hours into summer.
I should be asking you guys, how do you entertain the kids on a budget? No, really what we planned, we have picnics with friends and hikes and picnics because we can't go out because all of our food money is going into groceries, and you need like a rocket scientist brain to be able to go out to eat and have everyone's diets. It just doesn't work like that, which is nice that we'll be packing our own food a lot this summer. But when the kids start getting to me, I'm just gonna get in the car and drive. We're gonna go somewhere. We're gonna leave, whether it's the zoo or a friend's house or a walk or something. But other than that, go to the coast. We want to go to the beach a lot this summer. We'll probably live there a lot, as much as we can. And
I think a big thing for us, she says she's exhausted in nature trails. I guess that all depends on where you live, because we live in an area that's got like
endless
300,000 miles of nature trails. I mean, if you did a trail a day every day of the year, you'd never hit all of them. I mean, we're in one of those areas, so I guess it all depends on where you. If you're in the desert, yeah, I can understand how it's probably boring.
But why don't you ask me this question in a couple weeks, okay?
Yeah. How do I pick myself up after having to use everything I've saved in the emergency fund for dental work for my husband?
How I've saved for emergency dental work for my husband.
My emergency fund and all my envelopes are empty. Yes, we're thankful we had them, but it's very sad to have to lose all that we saved. His work insurance covers hardly anything.
A lot of people are in this boat. But you know what? Do not be discouraged, because that's why you have the emergency fund. Like 6 years on this plan, and we have exhausted it probably 25 times. Like, it's gonna happen.
And see, it comes in threes for us. I don't understand why. Like the brakes on the van went out. They started grinding really bad. So I'm like, okay. So then I drove the truck here yesterday, and I'm like, oh, I'll go pick up the kids. To avoid the brakes in the car, and I drove the truck, and the check engine light came on, and so I pulled that code, and it's something. So now it's like, ooh, I gotta go to work tomorrow. So I'm really like, the third one hasn't hit us yet.
But just be grateful and let it be your encouragement to get it back up, because
and the way you get it back up, like what we're doing, is we went through the house like 2 hours before this video, and we're like, hey, let's get rid of this, let's sell this, let's get rid of this, we haven't used this in 2 years, let's sell it. We posted like a dozen items on Craigslist. We're like, hey, let's kick this, let's get rid of this stuff.
Yeah, that's how you pay for it and keep going. Get creative. Don't be discouraged, you guys. Don't. Hey guys, my question. We have done the first baby step and saved $1,000. Yay! So for baby step 2, the debt snowball, we have listed our debts from smallest to largest, including medical debt. But I want to know, if we were not making regular payments on those medical debts, just paying when we could, how do we determine how much to roll over to the next debt when we pay one off? If that payment was not a regular expense, does that make sense? Thanks, guys.
Well, if it's a medical debt and you're paying it off monthly, I don't know, unless you plan on skipping the debt or skipping them.
How do you determine how much to roll over to the next debt when we pay one off if that payment was not a regular?
Because it says if we're not making regular payments, is that, I'm assuming you're not wanting to make regular payments on your medical?
Or you probably can't afford to if your medical is so high. With medical, we would recommend trying to get those suckers done and settle it. They're the most settled people. The easiest to settle because they want their money. So I don't know, when you get to a point where you've saved enough cash, just keep making a little payments, doing what you can. See if they'll settle with you. You guys already know that. But so how much do you roll over to the next debt when we pay one off if that payment was not a regular expense?
You just roll over what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. You pay
whatever you're paying what you can, you just roll it over. You just roll over everything you can to the next.
Remember your 4 walls, you guys. You've got to eat. You've got to have a roof over your head. You've got to have transportation, and you have to have clothing and your utilities. So those things come first. And
I don't know. The kids don't need clothes.
No, they don't.
I'd be okay with kids not having clothes.
I scored at garage sales. They've slowed down growing now. I think we're good. Anyway, so yes, just pay what you can. Keep plugging along.
Awesome. I'm always curious about the exceptions that people make to the Dave Ramsey plan. Did you guys follow this plan exactly as specified, or how did you modify it to better suit your lives or your family? In the very beginning, how long have we been doing this? We've been doing this 6 years.
6 years
I'd say the first 3 years. First 3 years was like to the T. Did it his way and only his way. And it worked great. And there was nothing wrong with that, but life happens.
That was kind of the training wheel stage.
Yeah, life happens, and we were like, we still have the same principles. We still have his principles in our plan, but we kind of fudge the plan as we need to for the house, for the family.
Yeah.
Like we were just talking earlier in the video about baby step 3, having your 3 to 6 months. Mm-hmm. We had a bunch of money saved in our 3 to 6 months, but we want to invest in the family right now instead of investing in his plan.
Yes,
It's a great plan, but
yeah, because we looked at each other one day and we're like, wait a minute. By the time kids are 18, we're gonna have everything fully funded, but it would have taken us that long to get to where we wanted to be financially. And that's a hard thing for me because I'm such a goal-driven person.
so am I. Well, I was the one that was realistically, I was like, pound, 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 this is what we're gonna do, this is what we're gonna do. Mm-hmm. Then I was like, wait a minute, I projected everything out, and I'm like, by the time we're almost done with everything, Zoe's gonna be 15 years old.
Yeah.
So for like the next 3 years to get us completely through all the baby steps and everything, and in the 6 years we've been doing this, I'm like, that's 9 years we really didn't do anything. No big vacations, no family outings, no. We were like, whoa. So we're kind of pausing things a little bit to invest in us.
Invest in us, and it's a great stage to be at. So no, you don't have to follow his baby steps to a T. I think it's great until you know, like the training wheel process. That
I guess the first 2 baby steps should be pretty tight.
Yes.
Getting out of debt, and then once you get out of your debt, you should get a plan that works best for you to complete the rest of them.
Without losing the steam and momentum, because we definitely haven't lost the momentum.
No. We still live on a budget. We still save for everything. I mean, we haven't been like, oh hey, we're out of debt. Let's go rack up credit cards and buy everything now.
Right.
No.
And we were so broken. Our marriage was in a terrible place. So it's worked for us. We're grateful. Looking back, what was the biggest mistake that you made starting on your debt-free journey, or something you wish you could tell yourself in the first 3 months of budgeting? How good of a question.
That's a good one. I would say for me, it'd be get over yourself. Get rid of the pride. The pride was the big thing. Once I swallowed the pride and realized this is better for the family, it's better for everyone. If I sacrifice for a year or 2 now, I can have the rest of my life to get everything I want instead of beating my head against the wall and then struggling for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
You know, it's just sacrificing for a small period to enjoy the rest of your life, or the big period. I don't know how to say that.
2 things I would tell myself. Have complete trust and faith in God, and that He can carry you through whatever it is, your storm that you're in. And number 2, stop finding my self-worth in stuff. Stop being so defined by the stuff that I have, because it took me a lot of work to work through that, and a lot of you might feel that same way. And it's depressing when you're defined by an outfit that you got, or a pair of shoes, and when you're just living for compliments for other people. So definitely do not be defined by your stuff. That's a good question. Thank you. There's so much mentioned about budgeting, but very little about controlling costs in other ways. Can you talk about that? For instance, eliminating waste, trimming unnecessary expenses, and leveraging free entertainment like the library. There is an element of sacrifice involved here, and that I think people are afraid to face. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Like the thought of something free or low cost is just like, it sends people in a panic, when really that's the secret to this whole thing.
But I mean, part of that is like, you know, for instance, eliminating waste. So when we did our budgeting, sure, they go together though. I mean, the budget's part of it. That we looked at, you know, what can we cut out of our budget, is because it's considered waste. You know, we cut the utilities down, we cut phones, we cut cell phones, we cut the TV, we cut the internet, you know, we cut all that stuff. And then when you start thinking budget minded, you are eliminating your waste, because when you only have X amount of dollars to buy everything, you don't waste anything. There is nothing that you're out there, you know, you're not gonna, if you got $20 for food, you're not gonna go out and buy a $20 hamburger.
Right.
You know, you kind of trim things down.
The best mirror for you is your budget. Like that is a reflection every single month, and it's you holding yourself accountable, having to look at that budget and face it and own those numbers that are on your budget. Like if you spent $1,000 eating out last month, it's on that budget and you have to deal with that. So that means other things have to be cut. That's exactly right.
And you're right, there is an element of sacrifice. You have to sacrifice. I guess if you sacrifice a lot and you stick to your budget, you're eliminating a lot of waste, I guess. We don't have a lot of waste. We've trimmed everything out. We do everything free we can do. And
we love it. That's the secret to this whole thing, you guys, is to get as creative, make it a mission to get as creative as you can and cut as much as you can. It is fun. It is fun to do that. Just switch your way of thinking.
I would love to see your grocery spreadsheet in more detail. I love the video you did last fall of how your meal plan and how you showed your spreadsheet. I'm trying to set one up for my family. Thanks.
I don't want you to see my
No.
like, because I'm trying, this is my battle. I'm not ashamed of the amount of money we spend on groceries now. Remember, we have all organic fruits and vegetables, dairy-free, and gluten-free diets. We spend a lot more money.
Feel for those families out there that have written us comments and been like, wow, how do you guys budget for this when you have kids that can't eat this and a husband that can't eat that and an older son that can't eat this, you know, and we spend so much on budget. And I thought, there's ways to trim that, until we hit this little hurdle here a couple days ago or a week or so ago, and we went out and did shopping, and I'm like, man, I feel their pain now, because if you do have to buy all the organic stuff to get rid of the dyes, it is not cheap.
Nope. And, you know, our lovely little Grace is our motivation for this, so it's not like out of the blue we're like, oh, we're going to go spend double our food budget.
Yeah.
No, there's reasons for it. So we will share, though. We're looking forward to sharing.
That'll be on the website when that gets up, which I don't know if, have you gone like public with that?
I've gone postal, yes.
Yeah.
I've given updates a little bit on Facebook, Twitter.
You want to drop it right now and just tell them what's going on?
Yeah, some people might not know.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
We're like completely, the old deadisdumb.com that we got up right now, we're kind of going to shelve that here soon, and we're rolling out a brand new professionally built
by me.
Website
we're
by
saving money.
Yeah, but it looks way
beautiful.
better, clean cut. It's just, it looks
organized,
nice.
Simple. I think you guys are really going to love it, and I want it to be an area where we are married to, like, as the back end person to this website. He and I are on it all the time, and we're updating and changing. There's going to be a blog. We're going to have a blog.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm so excited about a blog. And just because it's an extra outlet to share our minds and mainly my heart, and for me to journal on and share that with you guys. So good stuff to come. So excited about these coming back. What are your best tips for bringing the reluctant spouse on board? Thanks.
Usually with a club and by the hair, when you pull one, you just whack. You know, that's the easiest way we did it.
This is our #1 most asked question.
Yeah.
How do I get my reluctant spouse? You know what, you guys? There's like no magic potion. Like,
No.
I wish that we could just sprinkle fairy dust and have both of you on the same page. But the truth is, you're wired differently.
You are. Maybe make him his most favorite dinner and put the kids to bed early and say, here's this wonderful dinner, honey, and by the way, we need to talk about our budget.
Did you just suggest that?
I did. See?
I think you should do that for our budget meetings.
Whoa.
Well, you're telling them to do it.
Hey, I'll make a mean taco.
Taco. Tennessee says.
No, I would say, you know,
That's a hard one.
it's a hard one, but less is more. You don't want to sit down and just like vomit up 2 years worth of budgets at one time. You want there needs to be a really slow breaking period, because if there's too much at one time, sometimes
The chihuahua inside of you needs to just mellow.
not be barking all the time. But
Yeah.
the less you roll out, just a little bit of a time, so the spouse has time to digest it, I think is the better way.
Yeah.
Like me, I was so overpowering. I was like, you know, had the 14-page colored spreadsheet sitting down trying to get her to understand it in 10 minutes.
This is still a battle, you guys.
And
Every
so
budget
it didn't
meeting.
work.
Go try Dave Ramsey's Every Dollar for You Free Spirits. I recommend that. It's an awesome budgeting software program. I'm loving it. We have this, but anyway, we're supposed to be telling you encouraging things. Pray that your husband decides to get on board. Prayer is
Or
the
could be a
only thing
wife,
that carried me.
husband or spouse.
It was from
Hello?
Amy.
Oh,
So.
it's a guy.
But they're gonna have to want to do it on their own too. You can't make someone do something that they don't want to do. Help them to see value. Help him to see value in it, and give and take. Definitely, there's a give and take. Both people have to win.
It's not supposed to be the one person nailing the other person to the wall, saying you're not. Like, look at the budget. Here it is. You need to stick to it. You know, no finger pointing and all that kind of stuff.
Never work.
But you need to get on
It'll
board.
get you guys divorced.
Yeah, you need to get on board as a couple and work together at it.
And I think that's what I'm looking most forward to is the coaching between husband and wife. I cannot wait to hold your hand and walk through.
Wow.
I can't talk.
Okay.
Anyway, that's going to be part of our coaching, and I'm really excited about that, you guys. So that's it for this
Let's wrap this, baby. That was a quick 30-minute video, right?
It was. Leave your comments for next week down below, and we'll see you next week.
We will, but I'm going to do a little sidestep here and drop in there. Got a new channel. Go check it out. Josh of All Trades. Links below.
It's a good channel.
It's a
guys.
man channel that all the women watch. So it's basically got some hunting stuff on there and just basically a lot of maintenance DIY
All
things
trades.
that I do around the house, jack of all trades kind of thing, but it's Josh of all trades. So go check it out. I try to post a video or two a week, and we'll go from there. So
Plus, it's fun to see what catastrophes strike us. Like he just did a brake job today on a van, and that was Josh of all trades video.
will be. So go check it out. Links
Good
below.
really.
Subscribe, thumbs up, all that good stuff, and we'll be out
Okay, guys.
later.
There's tons of red strawberries in there right now. Grace is picking off like probably a pound every day. She's picking off that are ripe, and those are the same way as very rarely. I don't even fertilize those. Like if it's really hot in the summer, I might hit them with a hose for 15 seconds, and